Hi everybody, it is Julia here and I am back with a new fun video. Well, I hope it will be fun anyway. Um, I'm going to make a new journal. Do I need to make a new journal? No I don't. I have, I don't know how many started journals and I have a drawer with journals. But you know what? I wanted to make one, so I'm going to make one. And yeah, I really like it. So yeah, um, this one I have this really pretty paper from Heidi Swap, big fan, and I'm going to cover two chipboard pieces in that. The chipboard is 20 by 20 centimeters, so roughly 8 inches square, and yeah, I decided to do that. I also decided to use some regular drawing paper, a bit thicker, for the pages inside. So this is more like a sketchbook than something that you create a lot of art in. This paper, I will link the paper below. It is by Artwalk. I get confused with the paper of the cover. That is Artwork. But I will link the paper I used done because I got that from Amazon and I really like it. It can take a few washes of watercolor. You can't do like proper watercoloring, but it's really great. So yeah. So I thought I was just going to try and film like the process of me putting this journal together. I have made many journals this way. I have also made quite a lot of journals and books that I sell in my shop. Typically, I have a cinch that has like you get those metal words. What are they? Metal spiral thing. Quill. No, that is another thing. But yeah, so here I decided to do some Coptic binding because I really like it. So what I'm doing is I made the cover just with some pretty scrapbooking paper because I like pretty scrapbooking paper. This art walk collection by Heidi Swap has a really nice acrylic texture looking throughout the collection, so I thought that would be really nice. And I love this pinky purpley color, so I did that. I took the paper that I decided to go on and I'm just going to fold that in half and then cut it down to size. And yeah, and that guillotine trimmer is one of the best things ever. I got it from my mom. They have recently moved offices to a new building and they were going to get rid of it, and she was like, I think my daughter might like it, and sure enough, she's right. I love it. So so yeah, I have to say, if you are interested in doing a book like this, then I would recommend watching Sealemon. She is amazing, and she has tons and tons of really good tutorials. Not like this, not like what I'm doing where I'm barely in frame, but she has really good tutorials and she is very clear on how to do things. So I highly recommend. I learned how to do Coptic binding thanks to her, so I will have that linked down below if you're interested. So yeah, and I think that Coptic binding is very fun and it looks really great. Is it the best way to bind an art journal? I'm not sure, but like I said, I just love it. So, and it's a great way to get a lot of paper into a journal without it getting like hard to open and close. This will stay shut even though there's so many pages because you make it tiny signatures instead. So yeah, so all I did was measure out where I wanted the holes, and then I used an awl to punch the holes, and then I took a needle and some embroidery thread that with a color that I thought looked good with it. Another tip from Sealemon that I didn't do this time is you can wrap your thread around like a stick of beeswax to wax the thread. That will make it more durable. I have beeswax somewhere, but I could not find it on this day, and I was like, this was like, you know, those kind of when you just have to do it. Yeah, there was no way I'm going to wait around to find the darn bee stick, you know, or beeswax. So yeah, and here you can see I was really trying to do my best filming, but I was barely in frame, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, so like I've said, I've made quite a few journals this way, and I really like them. I feel like this time, if I had used, like, I only used one string of embroidery thread. I mean, embroidery thread is six strings, but I should have gone double. I feel like that it's a little bit too, not flimsy, because it's not flimsy, but I wish I had a little bit more stability. So because of how big the book is, I mean, if you did a smaller size, I feel like just using one string would be fine. But I feel like in this, because it is so big and I used so many pages, it gets really heavy. So I wish I had doubled up on the thread. But you know, we live and learn, and I mean, the color looks really cool. I really like it. So yeah. So that is how I made my journal. Yeah. And I mean, it is a bit of a project, and it takes a little bit of time, and you have to be quite thorough when you make the holes and all of that. But it's so much fun. I love the actual just like stitching the books together. Apart from the last to get the front cover on, I just love that. The front cover is a pain in the ass. But yeah, I love that. So here I have my new journal. I am so happy with it, and I can't wait to get started. And I decided, you know what, why not get started right away? And I was like, okay, but what should I do with it? I mean, what should you do on your first page? And then I thought, what creator on YouTube is like a guru when it comes to journaling or sketchbooking, I should say? Well, that is Drawing with Waffles, and she has done many times these. She picks one color and she makes a piece with that. So I decided to just go through my art supplies and pick up colors that look very similar to ones on the cover. So pink to more purpley, and then some light pink. So it's not just like one color, but it's, you know, the colors of the cover. And I thought that could be really fun. So on the first page, I'm just swatching them out. Really try to look out for pencils, watercolor. This one I scrapped, that was too red. But you know, watercolor, oil pastels, dry pastels, markers, and everything. And then I was like, okay, what should I do? And I was like, what do I think about with these colors? Well, something very relaxing. Franz came to mind. Obviously, he has that very magenta pink color, and I was like, maybe he's meditating on his landscape. Then the camera died, and I did some more doodling, and I came up with this idea of sort of Marie Antoinette time era lady. And I thought it would be really fun, because typically around that period of time, women had very light colors when it came to dresses. So I thought it could be fun to sort of have that aesthetic, but with that more darker, deeper purpley plummy color. Yeah. So the gouache and the watercolors I put on this little palette. Of course, this is not all of the watercolors and gouache in that colors, but you know, close enough. Yeah. I just wanted to get started, you know. So we have a few different. We have some watercolor from White Knight. We have gouache from Schminka, and also paper project. I think it is American Craft stuff that came out. I don't think they sell it anymore. It was very short run, but it was very fun color palette in that gouache set. So yeah, so I just doodled out this lady and then decided on sort of what colors to use where. I felt like the best way would be to have the darkest colors in her hair and then on the dress to make a bigger contrast, and then sort of have middle value for the circle behind her. I really wanted to make her skin darker, but I felt like it would get lost in the circle. So I'm starting with those things that I know, like this is going to be the darkest and this is going to be this sort of middle ground, and then her skin will be the lightest. So I have those sort of stuff to go off on. And then I have on my left side the art supplies, and then as I use them I put them on my right, and it felt like it was really good strategy to keep on top of what I had used. And yeah, and it's really fun. I mean, I realized that many of the supplies that I have put into these sort of boxes, like mentally, like this pen is supposed to be this, or that paint is supposed to be on that paper, or whatever. And it was really fun just to bring out all of them, and the only thing they sort of have in common is the color scheme, and then just having fun and using them to create value, and then also to create texture, because that was really fun when you have so many supplies in the similar colors, but you can really sort of amp up the texture of it, which I think I could have done even more. But I really like how it came together. And I got some oil pastels too, and I had a lot of fun, just like I said, that texture thing, and also especially using that as sort of a blusher for this lady. It sort of felt like a cream blush, so that was really fun. And yeah, I'm just going in trying to add as much value and depth as I can. And yeah, I mean, it was really fun. And I've said that several times now, I'm sorry. But yeah, and then also I did a video not too long ago where I painted a Viking lady. But other than that, it was a very long time ago that I did a painting. Even though this is in a sketchbook, I mean, I spent quite a lot of time on it. So I suppose it is a painting. But it was a very long time ago since I actually spent that amount of time and that effort onto a human figure. Most that I do is landscapes with houses, or houses with landscapes, I should say, and animals. So it was really fun to go in and have a person. I think it makes a difference. It is a different thing to paint something where you have like a house or a landscape and then animals, but it's something different when it's a human, I think, anyway. I don't know. But yeah, so I had so much fun, and these colors, I love them. If you saw when I put all of these stuff together on the table, I had my phone next to it, and the case is also in this color. Obviously, that's why it was there. But I love this, and the shirt I have too. This sort of red, violet, plum color. I really, really love that color. Yeah, I mean, I think we go through phases, or I do anyway, on the colors that I love. But this color is I've been loving for quite some time. So yeah, and now you might be thinking, well, if you love it that much, do you have a color like one of your handmade watercolors? Well, I do, and that is Ellen. I would say is the closest to that rich, plummy looking color. So yeah, and also another thing I did here, because like I said, I wanted to add texture, is that I just took a few pieces of the paper that was left over and cut out some feathers, because all of these ladies, well, most of them had like feathers and that kind of in their hair. So I thought that was a really fun idea, and I do really enjoy trying to add more to my paintings in that kind of way. And if you looked at the last sort of art painting videos I've posted, I've used mica flakes to get that extra dimension, and I love that. I love it so much. Here I'm actually going in with some Nuvo drops. It has a very light lavender tint to it, so if it's just on I mean, it will just look clear here, but on white paper you will see it has a lavender tint to it. But I would say if you want to get that sort of drop effect, just use any form of glue will do the trick. You can go in with regular like PVA glue. It will get a little bit milky because they're not completely clear, but if you want to have something like this, then just get like a clear drying glue and do some like dewdrops or gemstones or something. It makes a huge difference. Tips from a scrapbooker. Glossy accent. Yeah, that's my the mess. And here you can see I totally forgot to add my own watercolors, which is such a shame, but I remembered. So we have Ellen here, and because I didn't actually remember until I had like turned off the camera, I'm really sad because I felt like I would have used them a lot better if I had thought about them sooner. But yeah, so Ellen, I will just go over one of the feathers and then the dress, and that will make it a little bit darker. And then the other one I picked out was Amortensia, which is a very magenta. I think it's a very true magenta color. And I will just take and swipe that over the background. And as you saw, the background is these sort of dot markers that has purple and pink. And then I also have some pastel in the background, and that will create sort of like a resist, which is really cool. And yeah, I mean, just that kind of stuff, like making me think like, oh, what else can I do with that kind of resist thing next time? So I had so much fun making this journal. I love it. I've been using it quite a lot since I've made it. I love this page. I had so much fun, and I hope you got some inspiration from it. And give it a try to try out new things. Just pull out a few stuff or colors, or yeah, and just have some fun. I am so happy, and just look at that sparkle. Oh, by the way, Ellen will be back early next year. Yeah, okay.